If there's one thing that I have realized about myself, it's that I'm not really a big talker. Now, you might think differently on Sunday. Um, I am a pretty low energy person throughout the week. When it comes to Sunday, I expend every ounce of energy that I have. Uh, for the most part, though, I just don't. I don't know. I just don't feel like talking. I'd rather just save my energy. Maybe I'm saving it for Sunday. I don't know. But when it comes to relationships, uh, talking is very important. And I am still in the process of learning that. When Beck comes home from work, the first thing she asks is, "How was your day?" And my response most times goes something like this: "Hmm, yeah, that's about it." That's about how boring my response is, and maybe quite possibly my day. I mean, what happened? The kids ate lunch, they watched way too much TV, ate supper, went to bed. Do you want to know that kind of stuff? Because I certainly don't want to talk about it. Then I ask her how her day is, and she opens up and goes crazy. And I just kind of listen and nod my head. Of course I care, but it just it's the difference with guys. We just don't seem to talk. But when it comes to a relationship, we've got to learn how to talk. I mean, I've got to learn how to talk. When it comes to God, it's exactly the same. If we don't learn to talk with God, there is no relationship. It's designed that we can have this relationship with God, that we don't have to go through somebody. I mean, we have so much freedom, and yet we just don't like to talk, and so we don't do it. And I think one thing that I've learned in this little mini series about what I talked about on Sunday about using the weapons to fight. The first one was the Bible. The second one is prayer. There's something that I've learned is that in order to have a relationship with somebody, you've got to talk all the time. You can't just save your time and have just a one-shot deal. So I mean, imagine if Beck and I talked for 5 minutes a week. Now, this is different than Bible reading, okay? But imagine we talked for 5 minutes a week and that was it. That relationship would pretty much suck. So if we talk with God for 5 minutes a week, what does that say about the relationship? Something that I've tried to figure out, and I'm still learning how to do it, is changing from the concept that prayer is on my knees by my bed for 5 minutes to switching over to having this conversation with God on a consistent basis and always having Him in my mind. So if I'm driving in the van, I turn the radio off for a few minutes and I just listen. Some of my best, the weirdest thing, some of my best conversational times come when I'm driving to the gym or at the gym or coming home from the gym. Now, I haven't gone to the gym this week at all, so I haven't had those times, but those are some of the best times. And as we learn to pray and as we start reading our Bible, we start to understand what God actually says to us. We start to hear what God is actually, we start to hear in our minds what God is reminding us of what we've read. And all of a sudden we start to have this relationship with God where He's speaking to us and we're speaking to Him, and it's going back and forth instead of just us praying all the time. And so coupled with reading our Bible, we've got to learn how to fight, so to speak, on our knees. We've got to learn how to engage in this battle. We've got to learn how to listen to what God is saying to us so that we're not just trying to do this thing on our own. And so I challenge you this week to start carving out time in your schedule for silence. Carve out time in the van, or yeah, you don't drive a van. I do. It's okay. In your vehicle, in your vehicle. Carve out time where you'll turn off the radio and you'll listen then you'll talk and you'll start building this relationship with God where all of a sudden things begin to look a little bit different. Things begin to change, and you notice that a relationship with God is much more than just coexisting.